right, gentlemen and ladies, the moment you've all been waiting for. The whole reason why you would buy into a brand new miniatures game, the miniatures. Bam. So you get 2 bags, individually bagged, guys. You get the Cold Harbor Crisis Troop Scorch Small Unit Kill Team. And then you also get the Hongbin Mercs and Ireguard Small Unit Kill Team. So each bag is individually labeled. I'm really looking forward to these. I have not taken a deeper look. I have not cracked this before. All right, so you have a standard bag of, I believe these are 1-inch bases. Let's go to the mat. Yep, 1 inch. Nice. These are really sturdy feeling. No blemishes from the spear gates or anything. So that's just gonna clean up nicely. Again, with most of the miniatures in this, and I think it's probably just a symptom of the molding process or the manufacturing process where the plastic feels greasy. Like that sounds a lot worse than it actually is, but it's got, you know, this heavy mold release agent that helps the miniatures come out of the molds without, you know, cracking or tearing and whatnot. So, you know, it's fine. You know, it's fine. It's just, you know, it's basically the same thing you would have to do with a BattleTech miniature, which is, you know, scrape the mold lines off, give it a bath before you prime it. You know, that should be standard operating procedure for most adults wargaming now. So there's that. So what we have here, and the clever thing too, and I would actually recommend this, the first thing I thought when I saw this, is that each miniature has its role on the base. So you have advisor. Now you actually clip them off because obviously these aren't slotted bases. So what I would probably do, clip this off, save it, glue it to the bottom underside of the base, because some of these guys do kind of look samey, to kind of help you with that. So here you go. So that sprue point at the back of the head, that's going to be kind of spooky to chop off. But looking at the facial detail, well, there's the guy, he's wearing like a balaclava. Looking at the equipment, magazine pouches, radio, first aid, you know, the arm, the fact that this guy's clearly looks like he's wearing a wristwatch. And then you have the actual firearm itself. So, okay, so that's a big kind of chunk of flash. So a little bit flashy, but magazine looks very well detailed. The weapon itself looks accurate and complete. It looks like the guy's got a C-clamp kind of grip going on in the forward, and that's going to plug it on that wrist. So that's the operational advisor for Kill Team Scorch. These guys are all going to be Kill Team Scorch. So with this, I believe you get 4 of each figure except for the operational advisor, and that has more to do with the limit on how many of those guys you can include in a thing. So these guys are the Cold Harbor Recce. So you have Recce 2, you have Recce 1. Okay, so the sprue gates on this, some are kind of big, but it looks like there's going to be a lot of positive locating points, so it should be easy to clean up. Oh man, the fact that they have little radio antenna sticking up off the backpacks, that's ridiculous. You have, you know, some very clear, excellent detail. The detail on the blue jeans, the folds on the shirts, everything is very crisp. The seam line on the leg of the pants, where there's no actual seam line from the molding process that I can easily pick out. So that's really cool. And then you have Recce 1 and, okay, so you get, looks like 2 of the, oh no, Recce 1, Recce 4. Okay, cool. And then, okay, so it looks like you can kind of, Now that's interesting. So I just tried to flex it, and I'm used to like the Siocast resin, which is really floppy and flimsy. These guys don't feel like they're going anywhere, which means they might be more susceptible to like shearing or breaking if they're handled roughly. But don't handle them roughly, I guess. You know, skill issue if you do. So there's that. And then you have these guys, and these are kind of like your bread and butter units, your assaulters. So looks like a couple of things came off of the bag, and I'm just gonna, yeah, there we go. I'm just gonna leave those there. So you have Assault 2, Assault 1. So again, you have this guy's very detailed, very organic poses. They don't look like they're stilted or stunted or doing anything unnatural. They look like guys that are actually going to a fight. Although I'll dock them points, they don't have that Games Workshop tactical rock. None of them have a tactical rock, although you could probably fit a tactical rock on there somewhere, you know. So there's that. So that's the assaulters and the recce guys and the operational advisor, and then you have the guy with the LMG, which is, you know, fun for the whole family. So you have the weapon system itself. And then you have this guy, and as you can see, again, the head sculpt is really well articulated. Yeah, he's got his nods out of the way of his eyes. Again, his pouches and carry stuff is a little bit different. You can see his sidearm quite clearly articulated. You have the firearm itself, which looks like it's a suppressed something or other. And again, the amount of detail that you're seeing on the glove is pretty breathtaking. This is all these miniatures are just fantastic. Like I'm shocked at how good each individual pose is, each individual miniature is. So that is Crisis Team Scorch. I'm gonna set that aside, and then we get to the Hongbin Mercs and the Ireguard. So again, these guys bring quite a bit more bulk to the table than your Crisis Troop Scorch guys, because they're easier to, how do I put this gently, obtain, produce, convince them to work for you. So there's that. Sorry, I'm checking one other thing. Yeah, we'll check it later. So you have, you know, the first one here is the big bad for you guys. Obviously, the bases that goes without comment. You have a Hongbin enabler. So this guy's actually really well kitted out, and you can see lots of good positive locating pins, back radio. He's got a sidearm, and then you have his arm, so he's got the heroic pointing. So they get some points back then for presentation and style. They don't have any tactical rocks, but they do have tactical pointing. So again, look at the gap in that rifle, how well articulated that stuff is. Oh my word. Whoo-wee. All right. Fantastic. And it's funny because with the IRE network guys, they're pretty easy to pick out who's who, but whereas with the Scorch guys, they all kind of look the same because equipment-wise, stat-wise, they are kind of similar. So that's but with these guys, you can say, okay, obviously that guy's the enabler, and then these guys are your gentlemen with the no surprise belt. So you have, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. You get 4 of these in the box. So you have these guys with these really spooky looking monocular night vision goggles. Um, you know, lots of stowage. I hope that's stowage at least. Um, very clear articulation of the detail of firearms. Really, again, just spectacular. I love it. So that's the Guard Mutasib. These are, again, they're kind of like your shepherds for your kind of your less good guys. Your less capable, rather, I should say, guys. And then you have these guys, which are the actual Hongbin mercenaries. So these guys all come on one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and these guys have are rocking RPKs. That's interesting. See that texture? What is that? Is that from like a silicone mold, or is this Cyocast, or what is this? And this is just the detail is crisp. The sprue kind of flexes, but doesn't. Ooh. I guess it is brittle. So there we go. So it's just that. So, so again, lots of positive locating points. I don't anticipate having a bad time fitting these guys together. You know, lots of flash. That's the kind of the recurring theme. Some of the mold gates look like they might be a little spicy to deal with, especially for the Crisis Troop guys in with the helmets, kind of the nod power pack in the back of the head. And then you have these guys. You get 1, 2, 3, 4. You get 4 sprues of identical guys, it looks like. Yep, 4 sprues of identical guys. And then you have, so you have this guy, you know, they all have AKs. So you have this guy kind of with the ski goggles, and you have this guy with no goggles, and you have this guy with no goggles. So they're all kind of advancing. Now the trick that I mentioned with the Crisis Troop guys, where you, and again, you get 4 sprues of these guys. They all look good. I don't see, on initial inspection, I don't see any limp barrels, if you will. So no floppy barrels, which is actually a really good thing. But anyways, the thing I was mentioning about the Crisis Troop Scorch guys is how you would want to stick whatever that base plug is, whatever that base tag is underneath the miniature. So in a pinch, you're like, oh, is that a recce? Is that you can just pick the miniature up and there's, oh, right there. So that would be my only operable suggestion for that. So this is the last video covering the Phase Line box set, and is it worth it? Current retail is $325 US. As far as I'm aware, it's only available inside the United States. Is this worth it? Yes, and I'm going to explain that. So picture your typical Games Workshop game, how you have to have, oh, I have to have this specific thing, and you know, picture any of the box sets that they've been putting out. You know, the two faction box sets with like a fiction book and some new units. Those usually run, you know, anywhere from $250 to $325, and they don't give you a complete game experience. They're just not complete. You know, obviously this game, you still need to source your own tape measure, dice, that kind of thing, but that's just war game stuff, right? That's not peculiar to any other system. With Games Workshop stuff in specific, because they're kind of the biggest elephant in the room, is like, oh, you want this? Oh, you got to have this, and then you got to bring this book, and then you got to get this unit, and then you got to bring these guys. And with this, it's like this plus the cards plus the, you know, plus everything else. That's it. You're done. You know, you don't have to have this. You don't have to go on this big horrible journey to your hobby shop multiple times a day, or multiple times in a month, just to get one thing that you want. You get basically the entire gamut of units with the core box, and you can just go. You're just good. It's just, that's all the harder it is. Whereas with the Games Workshop or any other kind of those expandable games, it's like you get these bite-sized pieces of the experience, and you don't get the full thing. So, would I recommend this to a guy or a gal who plays 40K and says, I want something radically different, that's fun, that's modern, that's made in the United States with a high level of quality and ethics? I would hands down recommend Black Powder Red Earth by Echelon Software. They very graciously provided some of the stuff to me. I believe at cost. So this is kind of a promo thing. But speaking for myself, I am really excited to try to get these guys built and painted and on the table. And I definitely think that it's going to push my Battletech stuff down a little bit farther in the paint queue than it would have otherwise been. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoy this series. I will also be covering their supplement, Phase Line, as well, which is again another big box complete game experience. Obviously, you can buy all this stuff individually. The rules are miniature agnostic, although the miniatures for this game are amazing. So there's quite a few different ways to enjoy this game while being budget conscious. So I'm going to start working on my Phase Line stuff. So thanks very much for your time, guys, and have a great day.